Hi, how you doing? This is vlog 6 of the 10-day vlogging challenge. For those who haven't been following, my name is Patrick. So yesterday I talked a little bit more on the trends on the blockchain space and some of the things that are happening there. And I did say that we're not we haven't seen the last of the big hacks, but tonight I want to just share with you. Just seeing this came up on my news feed here. Now it is from the 18th of June, so it's a little dated, this particular story, but it's an interesting one. So it goes like this: a number of victims of a cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. The scheme was called Turcoin, as in Turkey. So they were basically positioning this cryptocurrency as the national cryptocurrency for Turkey. Um, and it centers around two individuals, one that had 49% and the other one had 51% of this particular company called Hipper, which was set up to basically bring this cryptocurrency to Turkey. So it says here, and a quote from the gentleman who earns 49% of Hipper. It's a name it's pretty hard for me to pronounce, and I'm not going to butcher it, but I'll leave a link in the description below and you can read the article yourself. But essentially, he says, I was only a mediator. Our company Hipper does not even have a single dollar in the bank. All the money went to Sadun Kaya, it's a company in Cyprus. This is the partner that owns 51%. So that's his side of the story. So essentially, a collective lawsuit has been filed, and this guy essentially has basically just fled the country with 100 million Turkish lira, which is translates to about 21 million US dollars. Stolen, gone, just like that. And this happens all too often. A lot of it happens, and you never ever see the people behind it. But in this particular case, it was high profile. They had celebrities apparently, in their ad campaigns. But yeah, he seems to have got $21 million and just fucked off. So quite a lot of unhappy people in Turkey. When it's projects like this, because remember the cryptocurrency market is unregulated. There's no regulation there. So if people give you money via Bitcoin or Ethereum and you give them tokens with some promise in the future that they're going to make lots of money, and then you just go away or you don't deliver, it's unregulated, you know, unlike traditional financial services. So it's a little bit of a wild west out there. Will these people ever get their money back? Don't know. Don't know. But at least they know who it is, and it won't be too long till someone gets a hold of them, especially with 21 million. Trying to move that about would be pretty hard, I think. So, it going back to what I said yesterday, um, and building on the series of videos, originally start with cybersecurity, and then blockchain and the technology and the trends, right? I said this in one of the other videos. We haven't seen the last of this, right? This is going to continue to happen, you know, and the cybercrime takes many different forms. Where you have a lot of money, a lot of rapid movement, you're going to get people like this taking advantage and scamming people. Because the risk reward there, it's easy to set up a smart contract to do an ICO, initial coin offering, and it takes a couple of hours, if that, to put a nice fancy website there that connects to the smart contract, right? And you can build then a social media campaign for very little money, or pay someone in some other country to drive a lot of interest, right? Build a lot of hype, and if you can suck enough people in, like this particular has, it claims it's upwards of 10,000 people that participated in this particular scam, hoping that they were going to get some of the new national cryptocurrency in Turkey. And the guy just walked away, left the country with 21 million. Goodbye. So we're not going to see the end of this here. This is going to continue to happen. And the attacks against businesses in this space, like all businesses online, if you have a presence online, if you have a large cloud environment, for example, you're going to be constantly being scanned all the time. If you're using Amazon AWS or Azure, them ranges are always being scanned, right? And if you don't have the right protection there, or the right sensors, then you're blind. You're going to be probed and probed and probed, and if you've nothing there telling you're being probed, they're going to find a vulnerability eventually. It just takes a misconfiguration, a patch that hasn't been applied, and they're in. And once they're in, depending on who it is, they might just trash the system. They might just steal all your stuff, or they might just abuse your resources, and mine cryptocurrency, for example. So, cybersecurity in the cryptocurrency space is extremely important, because you're dealing with people's money, and it can go like that, just like this. But in this particular scam here, it wasn't necessarily a hack in a traditional sense. It was just pure cybercrime. And if you were one of those 10,000 people that participated in this Turkcoin, I'd love to hear from them. I'd love to hear from someone who participated to say, why did you participate in this? What was it attracted you to put your money in and get some of these worthless tokens that don't really exist, right? What was it that made you hand over your cash, right? Because, having been involved in an ICO, watching the cyber criminals trying to rip off what you were doing, trying to disrupt what you were doing, trying to just outright copy what you were doing. So we've seen it all, and they're relentless. But what they don't have is the original creative vision for some of these projects. So it's very easy, I believe personally, to spot these scams. And I'm curious as to why so many people in this particular case get scammed. So if you have been scammed in this Turkcoin situation here, I'd love to hear from you. But to those generally who've been following along in the vlog series, this highlights why my two passions of cybersecurity and blockchain coming together can add some value here. In this particular case, if you were an individual who was considering participating in this particular blockchain project, you could come to me and ask for some advice, and I could have looked at it from a cybersecurity and a engineering background and someone who's been in the blockchain space to say, what, this is dodgy, this doesn't add up, there's things missing here, team, product, code, let's see where it is, and maybe you wouldn't have got scammed, right? So for those out there who are participating in this space and you're just not quite sure about a particular project or team, or if something's legitimate or not, even websites that you think may be legitimate could be totally scam websites. And the worst place, believe it or not, the worst place for listening to advice, I see it all the time, is Facebook. I'm in a few cryptocurrency Facebook groups, and people post questions, very naive questions. It's ridiculous. And then you'll get people weighing in with even more ridiculous, answers and links to sites. And, you know, having witnessed a cyber crime operation where these criminals had created a fake Facebook group and a load of fake Facebook accounts for that group, and they were inviting people into this particular group, and then people were asking legitimate questions, and then people were weighing in, yeah, this is legit, this is legit, this is legit, and linking back to the website, which was fake, 100% fake, and they were duping legitimate, honest, hard-working people into a cyber criminal operation because they were just naive enough to just accept that everybody who they seen within this Facebook group was an actual, genuine, legitimate person. Just because of the photograph there, it doesn't even mean it's them, right? You've no way really to validate on social media who someone is, right? So, going forward, bringing these skills of cybersecurity and blockchain together, I see people like this getting scammed all the time, and it is absolutely disgusting to see. Excuse me, to see these people get away with that, and then when you report things like this to the authorities, and then because they're so under-resourced, understaffed, they haven't got the bandwidth to tackle these kind of cyber crimes. It just goes into some intelligence database, builds up a profile, and they go after the big enterprises that are being attacked, or government, for example. They don't go after the small business owner who's being attacked. They just capture that information, collateral damage, essentially. So being able to help small businesses or individuals who are being targeted by cybercrime and walking them through the steps to get a resolution much quicker than waiting for your local police service to come and help you. When I reported the cybercrime that happened towards me, it wasn't really towards me, but it was in a way, but it was more towards the business. A dormant company that I had at the time. I've had two letters from them basically saying the same thing, that they can't do nothing, right? They can't do nothing, right? Facebook, one of the biggest data harvesters in the world, right? Where they had Facebook groups and profiles for probably more like a year, right? And we know from as a cybersecurity professional working in the space, the Facebook app takes so much information off your device, right? The hosting companies where the websites are hosted, the SSL certificates that were purchased, the domain, and all the Facebook data. When you bring that together, if you were serious about finding the criminals, you have a wealth of information at your fingertips, and you run it through a tool like Splunk or ArcSight or some kind of big data analysis tool, and you'll be able to see patterns, and you'll be able to find these people and track them down. But the authorities just don't have the bandwidth. They don't have the skills and talent within their local organizations. Certainly in the higher echelons of government and that and military, they do, but they're fighting a different battle. For the man on the street, the small business, the startups in the space, you're going to be ransacked, targeted, stripped of your assets, and there'll be no one there to help you. So you got to prevent that happening. You got to take the steps to put in the mitigations to limit that kind of attack against your business or your products or your person, right? So I seen this article today, and I thought, it's topical of what we've been discussing in the last few videos. And I think this is a key area going forward. More and more people are getting into the space. More and more people see the power of removing intermediaries with blockchain technology. They see the power of being able to send value worldwide really quickly. They are starting to come on to the idea of smart contracts and these decentralized apps and all these new projects that are building on the blockchain or the Tangle in IOTA's case. And they all need security. So the person getting involved to purchase some digital assets, some cryptocurrency, they need to be aware of what the best practice is to secure their holdings. The startups coming into the space who are building the new products, they need help to think about some of the attacks that have happened in the past. How can they prevent and mitigate those kind of things that happen to their project? And then you have established companies in the space who are already being early adopters, and no doubt they're seeing it, no doubt they're seeing the attacks. And then you have some of the bigger enterprises who are a little bit late to the game in terms of blockchain, but just because they're not public and you're not seeing anything public from them, high percentage of them are actually working on some form of blockchain project. It's just not public, and they will take the time, and they know having products and services of their own that are not blockchain, that you need to get that security right, because sometimes you only get a one chance. So if you're in financial service, for example, and your particular platform does multi-million dollar transactions, so I'm thinking of let's say you're a technology leasing company, for example, and you're doing a leasing deal for your corporation. You want to refresh 100,000 desktops in your organization, maybe get a new data center while you're there, or a multi-million dollar transaction going through your platform. If that messes up, you're going to lose that business. So some of these companies realize that we only get one opportunity with our customers, and that's why security is going to become really important. And the talent in the blockchain space is fierce. Getting a hold of even a developer in the blockchain space is very hard, and the ones that you can get a hold of, they're asking for big money, and rightly so. So think of that rare talent, and then add security in there. Getting someone in the space who not only can develop, has developed, can write code, and has the cybersecurity background to protect them systems, protect them businesses. I think it's a real niche area, and that's an area I'm going to be focusing on going forward. I think there's a real need here, and I'd like to hear from people in the space. So if you are a developer in the blockchain business, if you're thinking of a blockchain business, if you're in the management of one of these particular businesses, reach out to me just for a conversation, just to hear some of the concerns. So give me some validation back to say, you are having these kind of issues, and some of the other challenges you might have that I may have not mentioned. So going forward, some of the expertise of blockchain and cyber is going to come out some more, and we'll probably try and build some products around scanning and making sure that we have the best practice when it comes to crypto. So I'll leave it there because the video's getting a little bit long. Appreciate you taking the time, if you have taken the time. As always, leave a comment below if you have any thoughts or wanted to keep the conversation going. Hit the like if you like it. If you don't, give the feedback on the negative like down, so we get an idea of some of the feedback out there. So thank you.